Kindness is one of the most beautiful gifts you can offer the world. It has the power to heal, inspire, and connect people in ways nothing else can. But kindness, when misunderstood or misused, can sometimes invite the opposite of what you intend. Instead of respect, it can bring disregard. Today, we'll explore timeless spiritual wisdom on why kindness, when unbalanced, may lead to disrespect and how to protect your peace. Lesson 1. Kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. Kindness is powerful when it is guided by wisdom. Without clear boundaries, it can turn into a weakness that others take advantage of. When you give without limits, you risk attracting people who see you as a constant source of benefit rather than a person to be respected. Many times, those who exploit others are not moved by gratitude but by greed. They test how much you will tolerate, and when they see no limits, they push further. Setting boundaries is not a rejection of kindness, it is its protection. By saying no when necessary, you teach others to value your yes. In the spiritual path, compassion is never meant to mean self-sacrifice to the point of harm. A tree that gives fruit must also protect its roots, or it will wither. Your kindness must be balanced with the courage to protect your energy, time, and heart. This doesn't make you selfish. It makes your kindness sustainable. Without boundaries, you may feel drained, resentful, and unappreciated. True generosity should uplift both the giver and the receiver, not diminish one for the sake of the other. Remember that your worth is not measured by how much you can endure from others, but by how much you respect yourself while giving. When kindness is offered from a place of strength, it earns admiration. When it is given endlessly without self-protection, it invites those who will drain you. Protect your kindness by ensuring it serves good, not harm. That is when it truly holds value. Lesson 2. Overaccommodation is often mistaken for weakness. When you constantly adjust yourself to fit other people's desires, you send an unspoken message that your needs and opinions are unimportant. While you may think you're being considerate, others may see it as a sign that you can be easily controlled. Overaccommodation removes the healthy balance in relationships. If every decision is made to please others, they may stop considering your perspective entirely. Spiritually, it is important to live in harmony with others, but harmony does not mean erasing yourself. Your time, voice, and preferences are just as worthy as anyone else's. People respect those who can adapt without losing themselves. When you give up too much of who you are, people may lose respect because they see no resistance, no self-definition. Like water, kindness should flow naturally, but without a container, it spills everywhere and loses its shape. You must show where your line stands. This doesn't create distance, it creates clarity. By occasionally saying, "I appreciate your view, but I feel differently," you let others know you are not a shadow of their will, but a person with a mind and heart of your own. Overaccommodation can also lead to internal frustration. You may smile on the outside, but feel resentment building inside, which eventually damages relationships more than honest boundaries would. True respect grows when people see you stand by your values, even while being kind. It's not about being rigid, but about knowing when to bend and when to stand firm. A tree that bends in the wind survives the storm, but if it bends for every breeze, it will never grow tall. Let your kindness be steady, not submissive. That is the difference between being respected and being used. Lesson 3. Enabling bad behavior breeds disrespect. Kindness is not about turning a blind eye to harmful behavior. When you overlook wrongdoing for the sake of keeping peace, you give silent permission for it to continue. Over time, this makes people feel they can act without consequence. If someone lies, takes advantage, or treats you unfairly, and you respond with endless forgiveness but no correction, they learn that you will tolerate it. This is not compassion, it's self-abandonment. True kindness involves guiding others toward better behavior, not allowing them to harm you or themselves. If a friend keeps crossing the line and you keep excusing them, you become part of the cycle that enables their behavior. You might believe you are helping by being endlessly patient, but in reality, you are allowing disrespect to grow. Spiritually, patience is a virtue, but patience without wisdom becomes passivity. There is a difference between giving someone a chance to change and giving them a free pass to mistreat you. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for someone is to hold them accountable. That accountability helps them grow, even if it causes temporary discomfort. When you set limits, you show that you value yourself, and you also give others the opportunity to value their own actions. Respect grows when people know there are lines that cannot be crossed. Without that, your kindness may be mistaken for approval of their behavior. Protect your dignity by pairing kindness with discernment. In doing so, you uplift not only yourself, but also those around you. You teach them that kindness is a force for good, not a silent accomplice to harm. Lesson 4. People-pleasing diminishes your self-worth. People-pleasing often begins with good intentions. You want others to feel happy and comfortable. But when it becomes a habit, it starts to erode your own value in your eyes and in the eyes of others. You start living to meet others' expectations instead of your own needs. This can make you feel invisible, as if your true thoughts and feelings don't matter. Spiritually, self-respect is essential for a balanced life. Without it, kindness becomes a mask you wear to gain approval, rather than a gift from your heart. People respect those who respect themselves. When you constantly agree, adjust, or give in to avoid displeasing someone, they may stop valuing your kindness, because they see it as something you give automatically, without thought. They may even start to take it for granted, assuming you will always be available for their needs. Over time, this can lead to emotional exhaustion and a sense of emptiness. True kindness should be an expression of your inner strength, not a tool to avoid conflict or rejection. The more you practice standing in your truth, the more your kindness will carry weight. Saying no when something goes against your values is not unkind. It is a sign that you honor yourself. And when you honor yourself, others learn to do the same. People-pleasing creates the illusion of peace, but real peace comes from honesty and mutual respect. Stop sacrificing your self-worth for the comfort of others. Your kindness will mean more when it is chosen freely, not when it is demanded or expected. Lesson 5. Lack of self-respect invites others' disrespect. If you don't value yourself, others will sense it, and some will treat you accordingly. Respect begins within. When you speak poorly about yourself, tolerate mistreatment, or downplay your worth, you silently teach people that it's acceptable to treat you the same way. Kindness must be rooted in self-respect. Otherwise, it becomes a fragile shell that can be easily broken. When you respect yourself, you create an unspoken standard for how others interact with you. This standard is not enforced through anger or aggression, but through the calm strength of someone who knows their value. Spiritually, honoring yourself is as important as honoring others. If you continually give without care for your own needs, you risk sending the message that your well-being is less important. People may begin to see you not as a person with limits, but as a resource to be used. Over time, this erodes both your energy and the quality of your relationships. Self-respect is not pride, it is clarity. It is knowing that your time, energy, and emotions have value. It is understanding that protecting yourself is a necessary part of protecting your kindness. When you demonstrate self-respect, people take your yes more seriously because they know it is given from choice, not from pressure or fear. Without self-respect, you may try harder and harder to earn approval, yet still receive less respect in return. That's because respect cannot be begged, it must be inspired. And it is inspired when you stand tall in your own worth, offering kindness as a gift, not as a plea for acceptance. The more you respect yourself, the more your kindness will be seen as strength, not weakness. Lesson 6. Fear of conflict allows others to walk over you. Many people confuse avoiding conflict with being kind. They believe that if they keep the peace at all costs, they are doing the right thing. But in truth, avoiding all conflict can create bigger problems. When you are too afraid to speak up, you allow situations to continue that may harm you. Others may notice this fear and take advantage of it. They realize that you will not challenge their behavior, so they feel free to act without consideration. Spiritual teachings remind us that peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of truth and fairness. Confrontation does not have to be aggressive. It can be calm, respectful, and firm. By speaking up when something is wrong, you protect not only yourself, but also the balance of the relationship. Avoiding conflict may feel easier in the moment, but it often leads to resentment and a loss of respect over time. People come to see you as someone who will tolerate anything to keep the peace, which makes them less likely to value your kindness. Courage and kindness are meant to work together. True courage is the willingness to face uncomfortable conversations so that misunderstandings can be cleared and mutual respect can grow. When you fear conflict, you hand over your power. When you face it with grace, you earn respect. Being kind does not mean being silent when your boundaries are crossed. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. The more you practice this, the more people will understand that your kindness is backed by strength, and strength commands respect. Lesson 7. Constant overgiving leads to being taken for granted. Giving is beautiful, but giving without balance can make your efforts invisible. When you always give more than you receive, people may begin to see it as normal rather than special. They may stop appreciating the energy, time, or resources you share because it has become expected. Over time, what was once a generous act turns into a habit that others take for granted. Spiritually, generosity is meant to be joyful and uplifting for both sides. But when it drains you or is met with entitlement, it loses its purity. Overgiving can come from a desire to be liked or to avoid disappointing others. Yet, it can lead to relationships that are one-sided, where your role is always the giver and theirs is always the receiver. This imbalance not only exhausts you, but also attracts people who are drawn to what they can take rather than what they can share. True kindness does not require you to give until you have nothing left. It asks you to give from a place of abundance, not depletion. When you learn to give wisely, sometimes holding back so that your gifts are valued, you preserve the meaning behind your kindness. By creating space for others to contribute, you foster mutual respect and appreciation. If people see that you give thoughtfully, they will treasure each act more deeply. But if you give endlessly, they may forget its worth. Protect your generosity by making it intentional. Give when it feels right, not when it is demanded. Let your kindness be a choice, not an obligation. That is how it will continue to be cherished. Lesson 8. Being too nice can attract those who exploit. While kindness can draw loving and respectful people, it can also attract those who see it as an opportunity for gain. Some individuals actively seek out people who are gentle and accommodating, knowing they can use their nature for their own benefit. If you are too nice without discernment, you may unintentionally invite these people into your life. This does not mean you should stop being kind. It means you must pair your kindness with awareness. Spiritually, discernment is just as important as compassion. It allows you to see people clearly, recognizing their intentions without judgment, but also without naivety. Being nice is a wonderful trait, but it should never come at the cost of your well-being. You can be polite without being a pushover. You can be generous without being unguarded. Those who exploit kindness often test boundaries early on. They may ask for more than is reasonable, dismiss your needs, or take without giving back. If you notice these signs and still continue to give, you reinforce their behavior. Protect yourself by watching how people respond to your boundaries. Those who truly value you will respect your limits. Those who don't are not worthy of unlimited access to your kindness. Remember, your kindness is a treasure. It should be shared with those who honor it. When you are both kind and wise, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for what they can take. Lesson 9. Failing to assert your needs invites disrespect. Your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. When you don't express them, you silently teach people that they can ignore them. Over time, this leads to relationships where your comfort and happiness are secondary or not considered at all. Being kind does not mean putting yourself last. In fact, if you never voice your needs, your kindness can lose its value in the eyes of others. Spiritually, self-care is not selfish. It is an act of respect for the life you've been given. When you clearly state your needs, you give people the chance to meet them. If they choose not to, that is a reflection of them, not you. But if you never communicate them, you allow the imbalance to continue unchallenged. Asserting your needs can feel uncomfortable, especially if you fear rejection or conflict. But in the long run, it strengthens relationships by creating mutual understanding. People learn that your kindness comes from choice, not from neglecting yourself. It teaches them to treat you as an equal, not as someone whose role is only to serve. The more you practice expressing your needs calmly and clearly, the more natural it becomes. Your needs are not demands. They are part of healthy connection. When they are respected, your kindness can flourish without resentment. If they are ignored, it is a sign to protect your heart and energy. Lesson 10. Unconditional kindness can be seen as a green light for abuse. There is beauty in offering kindness without expecting anything in return. But when that kindness continues in the face of repeated harm, it can send the wrong message. Some people may see your unconditional kindness not as strength, but as permission to mistreat you. They may believe that no matter what they do, you will still be there, offering forgiveness and care. While it is noble to have a compassionate heart, it is equally important to protect it. Spiritual wisdom teaches that compassion should be paired with justice. Forgiveness does not mean allowing the harm to continue. Love for others does not require abandoning love for yourself. If someone continually disrespects you, lies to you, or harms you, the kindest act may be to step back and let them face the consequences of their actions. This is not cruelty, it is wisdom. By withdrawing your presence from those who abuse it, you teach them the value of what they have lost. You also preserve your own dignity. Unconditional kindness without boundaries can drain your spirit and invite repeated cycles of harm. But when you make it clear that your kindness has limits, it becomes a gift that others will work to deserve. The most powerful kindness is the kind that uplifts, not the kind that enables. Protect it, and it will continue to shine as a force for good.